Hello there you, and welcome to a gigantic Tau army that's about to go head-to-head with the Imperium of Man. Will the Tau's superior firepower win the day, or will the Imperial Guard's numbers overwhelm them? As always, if you do enjoy this content, do leave a like and consider subscribing, as that's the best way to support the channel. Now, let's get on with the battle. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, kicking off today's battle, and my oh my, this promises to be an exciting one here. A gigantic Tau army over that side, and a gigantic Imperial force beneath me as they go out with this gigantic, look at this already. Oh my god, so many bullets flying through the air. It's our Kriegsmen here, come charging forward. They're going to be met by the Karut lines. And look at this. Oh, it's a gigantic battlefield here already. Bullets ripping through the air. Thousands are dying every second. Absolutely marvelous. Let's go scoot on over to this side, though, because over this side, we've got this rather lovely little trench network here. You can see the Imperials all gathering around the outer lip of it, laying that covering fire down, trying to take as many of the Karut out as possible. Karut currently at the moment making their way across no man's land, trying to get a wide flank going, but they are being absolutely railed on by the Imperials. They're taking heavy losses doing this. I'm not sure if it's wise, but I think they're trying to get to this point over here. Yeah, look at this. The Imperials mounting up their assault from this position. However, they've got the covering fire at the moment. The Karut don't over here, but on the rear lines for the Tau, the Fire Warriors are starting to gather, and they do have a superior range on the field here over the Imperial Guard, able to use their pulse rifles to shoot from miles away here. Both armies are starting to clash in this no man's land. And yeah, look at that, it's just devastation for both sides here, taking extreme losses. The Imperials try to get their tanks up to support their infantry. Meanwhile, you can just see these XV8 suits blasting their pulse fire across the battlefield here from the burst cannons, and it's taking out hundreds and hundreds of Imperials with every single volley. I mean, just look at this, carving a path down the center of them. That was the XV8 suit there, just annihilated it, but there's that many Imperials. The gap has instantly filled in. But the Kriegers desperately trying to make their way forward here, as are the Karut, but the sheer amount of bullets whizzing through the air, meaning that neither side is actually getting an advantage on the battlefield here. I don't think we've even got a melee line going at all. The melee are literally just acting as bullet sponges for both sides at this point. I mean, look at this. You got these two groups here trying to get to each other. They're just getting absolutely annihilated. Fantastic stuff. There's a lot of Fire Warriors, though, starting to build up here. That's going to start to dampen the flow here of melee troops that can actually get through. The thicker and thicker the firewall gets. Mind you, there's more bullets coming out of the firewall. Jesus, look at them carving holes in there into the Imperial lines. But that Imperial tank fire, you can see blasting through the air in the distance. Just hammering home down into the Tau lines, just creating this thick paste on the floor wherever they land, and they definitely outranged the XV8 suits there. Tank round almost taking out the suits, just skimming right past it. But yeah, look at this, the Tau actually looking like they're starting to advance in little places. This little hill in the center is providing a little bit of cover for the Imperials. The Tau have had to advance up right into it, but that's allowed the Imperials to get their greatest firepower here. Focused onto this area. A couple of Kriegers making their way forward, and we're starting to get a little bit of a combat line forming. The Tau, though, have killed already 400,000 of the Imperials. The Tau fielding a very small army as well. Let's have a look what happened on our flank. So yeah, the Karut definitely lost this flank over here. The Imperials are now trying to push around. Again, being met by these little splatterings of troops. Just enough to keep them in place. So the Tau really focusing then on trying to break through the front lines. Got a couple of Karut going down. Trying to find a little bit of cover here. A little bit of solace in the trench lines. And it is working to some degree, but they are being met by conscripts who are still in the trenches with them. Man, that battlefield, look at that. That is a gore-filled landscape here. Just blood and bodies litter absolutely everywhere now. The Tau, though, up to 500,000 kills. The Imperials are still surging forward, trying to pump that firepower out. But the Tau, with their superior range, are really keeping the Imperials at bay here. The Imperials just can't keep up with the sheer firepower coming out of them. Don't get me wrong though, they have got numbers on their side. They could wear down the enemy here. Should they manage to get through all the Karut, I reckon the Imperials might be in with a decent chance of doing this, because look at their lines. It just goes on for miles and miles. Where's the Tau? Actually, it looks like in the center line, the Tau are running out of reinforcements. All the Karut are charging forward now, but they're getting gunned down, which means that we've only got the Fire Warriors in the center. And my god, that is a big wedge of Fire Warriors. Look at this, they're actually pushing past the front lines of where the Imperials were. This is where the front line of the Imperials actually was. You can tell from the tank cocks here. So the Tau have really pushed forward quite far into this Imperial line. 700,000 losses now. Man, that's a lot. Let's have a look on this side of the field here. This is just a gigantic push from the Karut. And the Imperials are just being annihilated. Oh, the poor Imperials. They had a much bigger army as well. This is why we need more units for the Imperials here. But hopefully, you know, they can actually start to whittle down the center line, because that is looking mighty thin at the moment. So while they might be getting absolutely handed to them on the flanks, I actually do think that the Imperials might be able to split the Tau army in half here. Let's go over to the flanks. What's happening on this side? Again, we've got a large Karut presence all built up behind the lines. The Tau have pushed forward over this side, but again, they're struggling to get any further than this. The Imperial firepower raining down on them as the Karut try to push across. Oh, look at that. They're just getting absolutely shredded here. The Imperials have done a really good job up until now. It's been a costly fight. 800,000 losses, but they've killed almost 200,000 of the Tau, almost half of their army. It's an attrition battle here, one that the Imperials can afford to throw millions of men at. The Tau, on the other hand, cannot. But I'm a little bit worried because of that range difference. It does allow the Fire Warriors to just rain fire down upon the Imperial lines, and the Imperials have to charge into the fire to be able to return it, which is a very, very deadly thing for them. As you can see here, just hundreds are dying every second as they make their way down this hillside, past the coxies of tanks, friend and foe. But yeah, look at this. Are we breaking this middle line or not? I don't know. It actually feels like we've got the Karut surging forward really heavily over here, which is exactly what is happening. They are in a full attack mode now, hungry for the brains of their enemies. And they are taking the pounding that the Fire Warriors should be. Let's go over to the far flank over here. The Imperials really struggling to get their units into this. You can see that we have still got Kriegers making their way forward, trying to throw themselves in, but I think it's their XV8 suits, man. They're just extremely powerful, especially against high concentrations of infantry like this. And the Karut are completely backed up by a Tau firewall. However, I will say that they are taking stupendous losses now pushing across this area. They are pushing into heavy Imperial Guard firepower on the other side. I think it's actually the terrain, because if we look, there's a flat land and then a little bit of a dip down. Well, it's only very slightly, but that might actually play into the Imperial Guard's hand, because for some reason in this game, lowlands are actually really effective against attacking infantry formations. Look at that. The tower have pushed right up into the grill here of the Imperial Guard. Imperials in the center line are taking so many losses a second. It's actually unreal. Look at that. Look at the kill counter. There's about 3,000 kills a second at the moment going on. Don't know if the Imperials can keep that sort of attrition rate up. Let's have a look. Let's go back over to the Tau lines here. Have these been thinned out? Oh yeah, these have been significantly thinned out though. But the Tau aren't taking anywhere near anywhere near as many losses. They just look way more stable. They're a bit more mobile. Look at this, running about the battlefield, helping to dodge them bullets. And it feels like there's hardly any return fire actually. Maybe at the maybe at these guys over this side. But I think it's these Karut forces. There's such a distraction to the Imperials for now. which is just keeping them fire warriors alive for a very long time. Oh man, look at this. The Imperials have been pushed back to the top of the hill here. The fire warriors came storming forward. I don't know if the Imperials will actually be able to do this. They've only got 1 million units left. And the tower looking very strong at the moment. What have we actually got over this side? What's this? Oh my god, this is a massive group of Karut still. They've got reinforcements. I think they're trying to hold off. Look at this. They took out the entire Imperial Guard flank that was coming over earlier. The Imperials here really, really struggling. And actually running out of units on this side. We're getting this massive surge forward now of Karut. Up and down the battlefield, the Tau have been dominating in this one. So even the Imperial tanks have just been completely destroyed here. But it is looking like we're starting to get through that Karut line. It's nowhere near as big as it was before. Look at this. Pushing into Imperial Guard guns has definitely taken its toll on them. But with 890,000 troops left, is it going to be enough for the Imperials? Only time will tell here. What I want to do, hit a little time-lapse camera very quickly and see if the Imperials can start breaking through this line, or at least advancing up on the Tau. We'll be back in a second. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was not expecting this at all. Oh my god, look at this. The Tau have basically just marched forward, pulse rifle in hand, and carved their way through the entire flank of the Imperials here. It is in absolute tatters over this side, and now the concentrated fire effect is starting to go into the flank of the rest of our Imperial Guardsmen here. I don't know if we've got the numbers to be able to take down the remaining Tau. They've just been on an absolute rampage here. Clearly, the Fire Warriors just superior when it comes to a shooting contest. There was 1.5 million conscripts here. 1 million Kriegsmen. I mean, that's a lot of firepower for the Imperials to field. The Tau, I think they had about 90,000 Fire Warriors. So, you know, just barely even an army's worth. And they've just rode over. There's 2 Imperial regiments essentially here with a very light force. It's absolutely insane. I mean, I think the Imperials might have actually broken through the line here. Maybe there is hope yet. Because look at all these Tau. The Tau have been piled up on this side as well, just a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to completely write off the Imperials here. They have put up a damn good fight. I mean, look at this. This is a pile of Tau corpse on this side. That is pretty significant. That's a lot of Fire Warriors that have died trying to push this ridge, but the Imperials have managed to hold them back. But look at that, that fire base down there has also been an extreme problem, just ripping open at the Imperials where they can. But yeah, I think the terrain really favoured the Fire Warriors a little bit here. The Imperials attacking down a hill, and for some reason in this game that puts them at a disadvantage. Look at these XV8 suits. Just ripping open that pulse burst fire there. So many are going to be dying in each of them volleys. That's the thing. I think them XV8 suits, extremely good crowd control weapons here, as we're finding out. They have absolutely annihilated the Imperial Guard. Again, that's what the burst cannons are for though, I guess. That's what you want to use them for. But can the Imperials actually make anything of this little gap that they've created? I don't know. We have got an XV8 suit up here. Somewhere, I just saw its burst cannon go off. There it is. It's a shame at this. It makes them look a little bit ducky when they run, but you know, I just imagine it quacking as it runs. Quack, 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 quack. But yeah, it's Imperials now, having taken heavy losses here, are coming down to the last 50,000 troops, and I mean that number is rapidly diminishing also. So yeah, what we're going to do then, I hit the last time-lapse camera here and watch the Imperials get absolutely enveloped by Tau firepower. We'll be back in a second. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The last 1,000 here now are being cleaned up by the Tau, unfortunately. My god, the Tau are absolutely overpowered. Just that sheer range and damage that they have. Though, I will say this. If these guys ever get into melee combat, even in this game, they are toast. The Chaos are really good matchup against the Tau because they actually managed to get up close to them with the heavier units, and then the Tau just fold like origami paper. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be calling this one here. They only had 57,000 troops remaining, so, you know, the Imperials didn't do too bad in the end. But of course, the Imperial Valkyrie flies over the battlefield and has to do its cleansing run. And as always, I do hope you had a blast. I know I did. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. A massive shout out to all you channel members who helped keep this channel going. And if you're not a channel member, why the heck not? Click the join button down below. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out the amazing ChaoticPinky store. We got some really cool merch over there. With all that being said, as always, until next time, peace.